Sometimes I hear people say that there is no way a regular, normal Majestic should be $90 in a booster box. Well, of course this one isn't. Now hopefully I can find one of those $90 Codex of Frailties here in this booster box of Outsiders that we are going to open now. And I am opening it before the hunted previews and everything are all done. So maybe it got reprinted in there, but as of recording, it is $90 and we're going to open it up, check through the packs and talk about how this happens. How do we get a $90 card in a regular Majestic slot in a regular box of packs? Again, some people say, how does that even happen? Or no, that can't be sustainable. And I'm here to tell you that kind of is. It kind of is sustainable. And of course, it's not necessarily sustainable in the sense that, you know what, any card, anything can happen and be reprinted in the future. And, you know, kind of in that sense, well, you know, no price on any card is technically sustainable forever. You never know what's going to happen to it. But with the way that things happen here, not just in Flesh and Blood, but in other games as well, is some cards can get super, super valuable even if they aren't super rarity, high rarity cards, right? So in Flesh and Blood, right, you have legendaries and marvels and fableds, and yet even though those cards are much, much more difficult to get, you can have something like Codex of Frailty, just a regular old Majestic, which holds a big value, $90 value right now. So if you want to get a play set of those, you're looking at a lot of money, right? $270, and probably more if you want to try and get it from the same seller. And the reason, right, the reason that these cards can get so expensive is because they're more desirable, right? Flesh and Blood really is, at the end of the day, a player's game more than a collector's game. And that means that the playable cards are the cards that get purchased the most, that get bought up the most. Makes sense, right? So even though it is hard, or much harder to find the really fancy cards in this set, Frailty's worth a lot more. And of course, it's not just that playable cards are the big things that people chase for, but the value of any individual card within a set is in part determined by how good and how powerful that card is, but it is also determined by what else is in the set that comes with it. And then, of course, how much does it cost to get the box, to get the things out of that set. So, for example here, when you go and look through all the Majestics and you go back a little bit farther, you can see that Codex of Frailty. Oh man, here's the second one, Premeditate. Very good. This other generic action here, which has some decent value, right? It's kind of bounced between $20 and $30 in its past here. This one has a tiny. It's pretty good. $20 is pretty good. But it's nothing like a $90 card, right? And so there's only so much value that can be found within these packs, right? And as a card like Codex of Frailty becomes more and more popular, more and more people want it, more and more people start to get an expectation that the price is going to go up. So stores and resellers and things try and grab as many copies as they can as well. Or if they have good access to a good price on boxes, they're going to crack more and more boxes. And as they do that, it actually puts pressure on all of the other cards in the set. And so some of the cards, like Premeditate, can kind of hold on with that. They can hang on. They're still popular. They're still moving. But other cards don't have the same velocity, right? Even though they're the same rarity, there's the same amount of them. There's some cards that just can't move quite as fast. There's our little cold foil here in the box. Mask of Shifting Perspectives here. Okay, so new lighting here doesn't seem to like that cold foil in particular. Looks a little bit off from my view. Maybe in post it will look better. But as we were saying, as more boxes get ripped open quickly to try and refill those cards that people are really chasing, for example, here in Rosetta, the last set we had cards like Plow Under and Felling of the Crown that were very, very popular. as the price rose on those cards, even if other cards from the set were selling at a decent rate, the fact that Felling of the Crown was moving so fast and so well and getting so much traction, it meant that people who were opening new boxes and trying to, as a store or a single seller like myself, trying to make profit, they can see that, we're getting enough value from this Felling of the Crown. I can sell the other cards that are still moving but not quite moving as fast. I can sell them at a little bit of a lower price. And, the thing is even though for me as a single seller, I sold out of many, many cards, not just Felling of the Crown, and somehow though that card was just significantly more. And again, a lot of that's just the perspective that people have. There's that perspective that it's going to be much, much more valuable as time goes on, and it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling idea. As people continue to chase and look for that specific card, other cards get pushed down in price as they open more of them, and people try and move them a little bit quicker. They feel like, I don't need to hang on to this one. It's not going to go anywhere like that. And eventually, you get to a spot here where you have Codex of Frailty, and even though there's a couple other generics here, this time we got an Amnesia. Look at that. So we've got Amnesia and Premeditate. And from there, you're at about $30. I haven't checked the price exactly, but there's about 30. If you're really lucky, maybe you're getting 35. Stab wounds up to 8 or 9 right now. I don't remember how much inertia is, but even there, we haven't reached anywhere near to where our box price is or what we're trying to get. And even as we say those prices here, like Stab Wound, a lot of the other ninja cards that we've seen kind of pop up here prior to the Hunted, they were not holding those prices before this, right? Concealed Blade did not look so good for a long, long time. Even cards like Flick Knives. So imagine you go back a couple months ago prior to the Hunted's announcement, and your ability, man, there's a cool foil Infiltrate, your ability to get value from these boxes was very, very difficult minus the Codex of Frailty. And as it gets more difficult to get a good spread of value, there becomes fewer and fewer people who want to take the risk of opening boxes, take the chance on it, knowing that it'll be great if you get a Codex of Frailty, but if you don't, chances are that you have very, very little from it, and you might even have a hard time moving that small, small amount. Oh man, look at this. No luck. No luck on the Frailty. We might have to open another box, see if we can get lucky here. Because this box has had nothing, and the box before it had nothing. And again, I say nothing because I'm thinking about the big stuff, right? A Premeditate is very, very cool. Look at this. We got a foil Collapsing Trap. Nice to see a double foil Majestic box here, but only 5 non-foil Majestics, and that's tough. Look here, I'll even show you the box we opened yesterday on the stream here. This is what we got in the previous box from this case. And so we've doubled Amnesia. We really wish it had instead been double Frailties. We did have a foil Gore Belching as well. But it's not the kind of thing you want to see, right? This is the kind of stuff that makes you think, nope, we should not open any more boxes of Outsiders. Of course, we like to live a little bit on the wild side here. So let's open one more box. Let's see if we can get that Frailty. 2 misses means there's a better chance, theoretically, of having one here. Not really. Not really. But we're going to try. We're going to give it a shot, right? And as I think about, so Frailty, obviously the way that you can help bring down the price, if your goal is to bring down the price of that card, would be to reprint it. Another way to bring down the price of that card would be to generate more interest in the rest of the cards within Outsiders, right? If there was more of a chase for other Majestics within the set of Outsiders, and they started moving up in value, that would generate more people opening more boxes, as long as there are boxes available on the marketplace. Oh, Dishonor. Oh, Dishonor. And I feel like it's dishonoring me with 2 common cold foils. Bummer. But yeah, for example, you know, all these flick knives and concealed blade, all these ninja cards that are really popping up in price, if they can maintain some of that value, right? If this new ninja dagger throwing idea actually turns out to be a pretty decent deck in the meta, and more people start to hop into it and try and grab cards from this set, and or something, you know, happens with traps, Riptide gets something, it just starts to really kick in, people want to play him more. If the prices rise enough on the other cards, it can push more people to open more boxes, there'll be more frailties on the market. And again, that's assuming kind of the demand for frailty would stay the same. If the demand for frailty moves up at the same rate, then it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't help anything at all as far as bringing that price down. But it's a different way to think about it. Yes, you can reprint things to bring the price down of something, or you can generate a significant amount of interest. If it's long-term interest, that gore belching, long-term interest in the other cards within that set. The cards that people can actually get, right? These super crazy, wild, hard to find Marvels. I opened 100 boxes, didn't see a single one until I went to one like sealed side event. Got one there. But the point being, you're not looking at those type of cards to really do any sort of big movement with the other cards around them. Though they do have, obviously, an influence on the price. But I think the worst thing happening here is, man, 5 Majestics. Doesn't feel good after getting all these 6 Majestic boxes. 5 non-foil Majestics. Feels like you should get more. Melting Point. Been a long time since I've opened a Melting Point. But hopefully we do get some sort of nice reprints here in the next set. Wouldn't mind seeing that Command & Conquer coming out again for us. Man, no luck here. Another Seeker's Mitt foil. This is where, you know, as you're opening, I mean, here, we're on box 3. We still have not seen a legendary from this case. We have not seen a Marvel. Obviously, we haven't seen any decent cold foils. This is where you can see and feel why Codex of Frailty has to pull all of the weight. It has to pull almost all of the weight for this set because, you know, it's just tough. It's very, very tough. Buzzsaw, Trap, Humble. I mean, Premeditate could be a $50 card. This is what it feels like, and would still be like, come on, we need a Frailty. We need a Frailty. We're not even getting Concealed Blades. Oof. Terrible hits for trying to refill the single store over at mastersetmadness.com. Fortunately, we're going to open enough of the Hunted that we will have everything. We'll have everything. You won't have to chase whatever the big fancy Frailty level card is for outsiders. If you just want to get singles, you can grab them over there. We'll have that up and live once all the cards are released and we get closer to release day for singles. And then for those of you who don't even want to mess around chasing the singles, you just want the whole playset, we'll have playsets available as well. And then of course we got box breaks, because you know what? It's still fun to chase the Frailties. It is still fun to chase them. So we'll have those box breaks available as well. Barbed Undertow. Ooh, man. Oh, man. See, we need some of these cards like the Undertow to just gain a little bit. Gain a little bit. But who knows when the next Ranger set is going to be. It is going to be fun. Going to be fun. And, man, you're going to want your Frailties for whenever that comes. Last pack of the box. Oh, my goodness. No love from it. No love. Ouch. That is why Codex of Frailty is a $90 card. It is why it is going to stay there until it is reprinted or there is big time interest in the rest of the cards in the set. It'll be interesting to see how long those ninja cards can hold up their value, or if they're going to kind of drop down pretty quickly, like some of the other, highs and lows we've seen from new heroes entering through sets. In Rosetta, we had a lot of Tails cards go up, a lot of Tails cards kind of come right back down, right? So we'll see. Be very interesting to see that happen. Again, we're going to open, I do have another box. I got one more box in the case. We will open this probably in another video. See if we can get it. But remember too, this is not just Flesh and Blood who has this issue or challenge where some cards get super high priced. All you got to do is look at Magic, Dominaria United, Sheldred. Check out what else you can open from those boxes. The answer is not much, and that's why Sheldred's going to stay there till something changes, right? Because there's nothing else to help it out. Anyways, we'll see you next time. Peace.